On this episode of Touring the Gorge, I'm headed to the Golden Gate of the Evergreen State, Goldendale, Washington. Check your bags as I explore the universe at Goldendale Observatory Interpretive Center, indulge my sweet tooth in the bakery at St. John's Monastery, warp back in time to the 1800s at the Presby Museum, and then lay it all on the lane at the vintage Golden Lanes bowling alley. So check to ensure your seat backs are brought to their full upright position, tray tables are stowed and locked. Touring the Gorge is now cleared for departure. Every kid dreams of becoming an astronaut, and on a hilltop just north of town, the Goldendale Observatory Interpretive Center is making part of those dreams come true. With guidance of Facility Supervisor Steve Stout, I'm ready for liftoff on a tour of the universe. So Steve, you've been here for almost 29 years, so you've probably got a little bit of experience and you could probably answer some questions for us.
I would certainly be glad to answer some questions about my favorite place in the whole universe, Goldendale Observatory.
All right. So what can you tell me about the telescope itself? It's just a big, complicated looking thing to me.
There are various kinds of telescopes, and this is the type called a Cassegrain reflecting telescope. It has mirrors. The light reflects off of mirrors, and eventually the light is reflected into an eyepiece. And the whole assembly, it's a pretty massive thing, weighing 600 pounds. And the type of setup is called a German equatorial mount, so it's got a 600-pound counterweight. And the whole setup allows me to easily move the telescope to point any direction in the sky and observe the wonders of the universe.
Yeah, and I noticed the dome has an opening, and it also looks like there's a track. So the dome can rotate to wherever you need to point the telescope out.
That is correct.
Okay.
When I want to show something to visitors, I will choose that object, determine where it is in the sky with the unaided eye, and then I can, after opening the shutter in the dome, which is 6 feet wide, then I rotate the dome. It will rotate either direction, 360 degrees. Get everything shifted around and set up. Look through the finder scope on the system, of the large telescope system, and once everything is adjusted, then visitors can come and have their turn looking in the eyepiece and going, wow, cool.
Yeah. So how long has the observatory been here?
The observatory has been here for almost 36 years now.
Okay.
It got started in Vancouver, Washington by 4 amateur astronomers beginning to build the big telescope behind us in 1964. After the 4 men finished the telescope, they decided to donate it to somebody who would build an observatory for it and dedicate it as a public education center for astronomy. So one of the men on his travels around the state went up to Ellensburg, and on his way back home, without success in finding a place up in Ellensburg, he stopped in Goldendale for something to eat, met someone in town who, as they talked about his project, decided that this telescope could come to Goldendale.
So how many visitors do you get through here?
Tens of thousands of people come to Goldendale Observatory to experience a tour of the universe.
So what makes this telescope so significant that people would travel from all over the world to come out here to Goldendale?
When this observatory was established, immediately the telescope was known as the largest amateur-built telescope of its kind in the nation in a public observatory.
Really?
It's one of the largest built by amateurs in the country for public education in astronomy.
What are some of the times, or maybe times of the year, that are better? I mean, I'd assume in the evening.
Any time that it's clear here is good for viewing. In the wintertime, you'll want to dress very warm. So anytime you come and it's clear, I'll give you a tour of the universe. Are you visiting here today? You're in the large telescope room of Goldendale Observatory, where the 24.5-inch telescope lives and works. And this afternoon, because of our clear sky conditions, I'm going to be setting up the telescope, and you'll be getting to see direct and live an image through the eyepiece of the telescope of the planet Venus. The telescope has some dials on it with numbers. It's 1305. So this little pointer here says 1305. I'm turning a motor on now too that will cause the telescope to automatically track the object once I've located it. So now it's calibrated, and simply I get the information about the position of the planet Venus from a booklet I have here, a printout of its position for every day of the year. There's one dial reading 9 hours, 52 minutes, with a little nudge here. There's 14 degrees. Now first rotating the dome. A 6-foot wide shutter in the dome allows me to look any direction in the sky. Once I have the open shutter around in front of the front end of the telescope, then I will start by looking through the finder scope. So now I'm at the finder scope. Once I get Venus in view in the finder scope, I'll switch my eye to the middle-sized telescope. That allows me to get a little more accurate lineup on the system. And we've got a planet to look at. Today, Venus is over 100 million miles from Earth. Means it's a little bit further away than the Sun is from the Earth. That's right. A hot planet is cool. The planet Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system because any sunlight that gets through the planet's surrounding clouds gets trapped, and we call it the runaway greenhouse effect.
Goldendale, we have liftoff. When touring the Gorge returns, I'm going backstage at a bakery to see just how the Sisters of St. John's Monastery make their baklava and other traditional Greek pastries. You'll want to check it out.